What's up, guys? Matt here, getting ready to watch the Season 1 finale of Frieren Beyond Journey's End. This whole season has been an absolute ride. I will discuss my love and my joy and my passion and my feelings and my connection to this show throughout the first season at the end of the episode, or the end of the discussion in the video. It's one of those things. I want to watch this episode so bad, but I also don't. Oh my! This is like it's like my baby. Like I don't want to live in a world in which I don't have a new episode of Frieren to watch. But I gotta watch it, and I'm excited to watch it. This whole season has been incredible. This first class mage exam arc has been phenomenal. I'm ready to get into it. I'll talk a lot at the end of the episode. If you guys do like the video, drop a like, leave a comment. I'd really appreciate it. I've got the Flying Through action up on Patreon, as well as all of the previous episodes of Frieren. If you're interested, please check it out. And I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. And the final thing that I will mention is obviously Frieren Beyond Journey's End is ending this week. Starting next week, I will be starting 3 new shows. I will be starting Avatar: The Last Airbender, Jujutsu Kaisen, and what else? Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. So some really big, popular shows, really good shows. I've heard some of the all-time greats. So if you're interested in those shows, I would really appreciate it if you stuck around. Other than that, let's get into the finale. The goat, the loyalty, the respect. Oh, we knew this was gonna happen. Come on, Denkin! I was okay, he's the strongest person there of the people left that have to be judged, but I was iffy on whether or not he'd pass. Oh my god! Handsome boy! He's still handsome. Yo! Does Quentin Tarantino secretly make Frieren? A lot of feet shots. I've got goosebumps. Yes! Oh, I've got goosebumps. Oh my god. I've got intense goosebumps. Oh, this motherfucker's passing immediately. I was gonna say, that's their new fucking right-hand man. I can feel your aura. Are they gonna pass the rest? Land is not passing, right? Damn, getting called a bum. Ah, damn. That's awesome! That's fucking awesome! That is awesome! Yes! You good? Nice job! Yo, Land is badass for that. I got goosebumps! I got goosebumps! Uh-oh. Oh my god! Is Method gonna pass? Get this bum out of here! Holy shit, she's about to pass! Everyone's passing this episode. Jesus. You've passed like 5 people in a fucking row. What?! What do you mean?! What do you mean? A bumper crop. This girl Method. I've jokingly called her a bum. Let's go on a date, baby. We're first class mages. Yes, I expected that. Oh, I've got goosebumps. I've got the most... My body, I feel like a fucking cactus. I'm like bumpy. Everywhere. What's up, Lawfin? Oh my god. This man is rich. I don't think it's the case, but is this a... Is thanking Lawfin sugar daddy? I mean, Jesus. It's fine. He cool. I love Denkin so much. I hope we see... Obviously, these guys aren't going to be like recurring main characters for the rest of the show. But I do hope they are. Like every arc, we get like one of them popping back up. Oh, it changed him. Oh my god. I underestimated how fucking powerful, like, politically this gentleman is. Imperial Mage is a real important thing. Dude, she's like an inspirational fucking goat. Everywhere she goes, everyone is just so loved and felt by her. It changes their perspective. I think it might be because I'm getting really emotional because this is the final episode I'm going to see for a while. But I have gotten goosebumps already more times in this episode than any other episode previous. Uh-oh, this fucking Godfather? Some crazy shit about to happen? You handled it. You're nicer than I expected. He's got a fucking collar on. That thing is evil! Kill it! Yeah, when did they get the spell? This motherfucker method really passed. Oh, my baby. Dude, he is literally... Himmel is the most influential man in history. 1000 Mirror... Ooh. Oh my god. Do they look like... I said this in the other episode. Aaron and Mika said. Who is that girl? I know that girl. I bet I do. I'm just being stupid. I don't know why I have such tense goosebumps. These motherfuckers were scared of old man Himmel. 1000 Mirror Tower bows. Are we gonna fight this thing? I'm gonna write down bows.
世界が平和になってもそこに俺の村はなかったんだろうな。
そう。何が言いたいの？
俺をここまで連れてきたのは勇者ヒンメルのくだ。
Oh my god.
俺が言いたいのはそれだけだ。少し長話は過ぎたな。
My bums are waiting for me.
結局あいつらと一緒に帰る。
At least he made some close friends.
フリーレン、出会いは大切にしろよ。
I think she started to do that.
死別だけじゃない。
Aww. Oh my god, what a quote! The goosebumps are hurting me.
フリーレン、魔法で向こうまで順番に運んだりはできないん
Let
です
him
か？
walk.
それだと私だけこっちに。
Aww.
確かに小さな人助けだ。きっとこんなことをしたって世界は変わらない。でも僕は目の前で困っている人を見捨てるつもりはない。
He's just so amazing. He's the greatest man in the history of anime.
大丈夫だよ、ヒンメル。世界はちゃんと変わっている。今夜特権の授与があるのですが。
Please hold hands by the end of this episode. Please!
申し訳ありません。ゼーリエ様から
Jesus Christ.
フリーレン様は出禁です。今後1000年は大陸魔法
フリーレン様が何をしたって言うんですか？仕方がないよ。ゼーリエの
She's just jealous at the goatery going on.
全く子供みたいな人だよね。まあ私も来たくて来たわけじゃないし。
Aww.
外で待っているね。
俺も外で待ってる。
No, I want you by my side. Oh, okay, fine then.
そろそろ特権の授与が終わる頃かな。
ああ。
一級魔法使い。この世界で50人もいない魔法使い。
Hey! You're in 50? God, that's a big amount in one day.
この時代ではきっとフェルン
Let's hope so. Yeah, and then her right hand man. Stark gonna be right there with her.
大陸魔法協会の人だね。
一級魔法使いのレルネンです。
Rhea, the first! The first!
ゼーリエ様がご迷惑をおかけしたようで。
構わないよ。昔からそういう人だったから。
どうしたんだよ、フリーレン。
Sensing him? We're sensing him sense her.
私の魔力の揺らぎが。とんでもない手だれだ。平和な時代には似つかわしくないね。
そうですね。私は戦いしか知らない時代遅れの魔法使いです。ゼーリエ様にもよく言われます。魔王軍との戦火の時代に生まれている
Hey,
名だたる英雄。
you probably better suited for it, but I'm glad that you were born now.
ゼーリエ様の弟子の中で歴史に名を残したのはもはやおとぎ話となった大魔法使いフランメのみ。て死ねばあの方が生きた証がまた一つ消えること。
Maybe she's gonna outlive you, but
私はあの方を未来で一人孤独にさせたく。
yo!
たとえそれが伝説の魔法使いフリーレン様を討ち取ったという悪名であろうとも。
Who you think you are? Who you think you are? You can't do shit. Wow, got a cut.
手合わせを願えますか。
You can't attack me and then request a duel.
手はしないよ。時間の無駄だ。まったく。戦いしか知らない魔法使いは不器用なの。
He doesn't know how to conversate. He can only fight.
残す必要なんてない。
Oh, Jesus!
最後に一ついい？この花畑、魔法で作られたものだ。
I told you last episode there was flowers. This motherfucker's a simp for Flumma.
魔法だ。 くだらない魔法だって言っていなかったっけ。
No, no.
正直フランメは失敗作だった。
Yeah, you're a simp for a failure then.
その後もたくさんの弟子を取ったよ。どれも私の足元にも及ばないままほとんど。
Most.
だが不思議なものだ。気まぐれで取ったはずの弟子なのに、一人一人の性格も好きな魔法も鮮明に思い出す。フリーレン、なぜか私は弟子を取って後悔したことは一度もないんだ。
You get connected to him, you little asshole.
残せずとも。
自分の弟子にすら素直に気持ちを伝えられないんだ。本当に子供みたいな人だよ。
Mm-hmm. What'd you get? I would maybe. Okay, she did get one.
行こうか。フリーレン様、その方の怪我どうしたんで
'Tis
すか。
but a scratch.
教会で治療しないとね。
Where's Sign? I want my Signy baby.
シュタルク、今日は何して遊ぶ。
Oh my god, dude. I want to see. Look, this is gonna be wild. I cannot wait for Stark to be a father. He'd be so great with the kids.
シュタルク、これ飲んでおいきよ。
お、ありがと
部の道は
What is this thing? Who are you?
う。あ
これでオイサーストともうまく。
Do you see how influential Stark is too? Like literally, he stayed in the city for a couple weeks, and the entire fucking town is sad he's leaving.
になんかフローラルな香りがする。
She can smell like a flower.
これはまさか。
服の汚れをきれいさっぱり落とす魔法です。
Wow! Yes, sir.
夏川生けるまで
Woohoo! We never have to do laundry again, baby.
月級の魔法だよ。
Legendary level spell.
生かしたフェルン。それでこそ私の弟子だ。
Oh!
当然です、フリーレン様。
Hug, hug,
スエ
hug.
リエ様はすごく嫌そうな顔をしていましたけどね。
This is a waste of. This shit is a waste. No.
あ、来た。フリーレン、本当にありがとうね。
Dude, why am I gonna? I'm tearing up because the episode's about to end.
元気でね。
じゃあまたね。
He's gotta stop. We'll meet up with a couple of you guys in the
そうで
future.
したけど、随分あっさり別れますね。
Oh, where's Sign? Craft is cool, but he's not Sign level.
フィンメルってさ、すごくあっさり人と別れるよね。
I'll be back.
かな。
まあ、らしくないとは。
I'll see y'all again. It's okay.
2週間も旅路を共にした中だ。それに彼とは毎晩のように酒を酌み交わして、それはもう。
生臭坊主。
そうだね。
We needed to get one more in before the season ended.
続けている以上、また会うことだってあるだろう。涙の別れなんて僕たちにはね。
Oh my god, dude, he's like a fucking superhero. He's a cool action hero.
だって、また会った時に恥ずかしいから。
Oh my god! No! No, it's done! No! I'm crying! This is. Oh, this was such a good season! Oh, Hyter! Hyter, baby! Oh, Eisen! Like, through the first season of a show, I've never fell in love, like pure, utter love, with so many characters as I have with this. I mean, this is so fucking beautiful. Oh, you bums. How did Method pass? How did Method pass? Oh, Craft. Where's Sign? Come on, flash your sign. Damn. Where the fuck are you at? On the beach?
会った時に恥ずかしいからね。
No.
何ですかそれは。
It's an inside joke. You won't understand, baby. No! No! Don't say it, please. Don't let it be so. No. That right there was not only one of my favorite season 1s in the history of television, that was just in general one of my favorite seasons of TV. That was phenomenal. Like, every single fucking aspect of this show was perfect. Like, my anticipation for season 2 is probably one of the highest, most hyped I have ever been for a season of anime, if I'm really thinking about it. And again, I've not watched like a huge amount of anime, but this was incredible. This was absolutely incredible. I mean, you guys know, like, I don't think I full out, like, I didn't have tears running down my eyes. Let me tell you what, I think if I was watching this alone off camera, I probably would have many times. But obviously, so far on the channel, this is the thing that's, made me go, tear up the most. I had goosebumps the entire episode. Like I said, every interaction between the characters is perfect. Not like as in like it's making me cry, it's making me feel, it's making me connect. Like I've never seen writing that strong in an anime before. It was, oh my god. Oh my god. I feel like I gotta run down every aspect of the show. Something I do want to do real quick, and I've been saying I was going to do it for a while. I am going to rank it. I'm going to rank season 1 of Frieren compared to all the season 1s of TV I've ever watched. It was a really good season. Now, I will say, the ranking of my season 1s list, it's a little difficult because there are certain shows like Your Lie in April and Death Note. Those are the only two. They are one-season shows. You know what I mean? So they're like, it's really hard to beat them, and nothing has beat them. So my two favorite season 1s of TV are technically Death Note and Your Lie in April because that's the only thing in the show. But holy fuck, oh my god, it's number 3. It's my third favorite season 1 in TV history, and again, really going into that, like I said, Your Lie in April and Death Note are one-season shows. So, in comparison to all other shows that are more than one season, Frieren Beyond Journey's End was my favorite. It just barely beats out Vinland Saga Season 1 for me. Not just barely, I mean, clearly. Like, there's a big gap. Because it was incredible. Like, it was incredible! How is this so good? And I'm so excited for Season 2 to happen in January. I'm 1000% going to rewatch the show, obviously. I'm probably... Again, now that I finished the show, I feel like I can go and watch LM reactions. They're full series, so I might do that. See if there's any other good if there, you guys listening to this discussion, if there's any other really good reactors that have watched Frieren, I would appreciate it if you let me know. Not only to just introduce me to new reactors, but also I need to see people cry and moan and laugh and be happy watching Frieren, because this is the ultimate show. It's the ultimate show. There's nothing fucking better on TV. There's nothing better. This is... It's so good. Again, I'll start with Frieren, whom I've mentioned. Like from the very beginning, from the first episode, I said how much I loved Frieren. Just her basic sort of story. You know what I mean? Like... It almost feels like The Old Guard, you know what I mean? Like, you watch a show or a movie that the main character is like really old, grizzled vet. This feels like the same thing, obviously, because she's an elf and she's, sort of always happy and this and that. I wouldn't necessarily like she's very, I don't know how to describe it, because she's mature, but like she's very childlike in like the sort of like whimsical, not taking everything so seriously route. And I love that. I love that so much. She is badass. Like, she's genuinely badass. And I know I've spoken about this many times on my Frieren reactions. to where I'm not usually someone who like gets real behind badass characters. Like I'm never like, oh yeah, this is fucking no. But she is incredible. She is incredible. She's funny. She is smart. She is everything you could ever want, not just in a main character, but in a character, in a person, in general. She has the best fucking traits, the most entertaining traits. She's fucking perfect. The way she sort of teaches people, she learns from people, and she also helps them. And speaking of like learning and helping, I really this is something I've also spoken about. My favorite live action show of all time is Lost. And because I love the format. I love how you have what's going on the island after a plane crash, and then you have flashbacks. You have constant flashbacks to sort of get to know characters' personalities, why they make decisions, their mindsets, their ideologies. You really connect with them. And like I said, just about 99.99% of Lost episodes have that format of we have what's going on and then we flash back to this, and it sort of makes that perfect parallel. It strengthens what's going on in modern day, and then it also has a really phenomenal, interesting, efficient story in the past. And this show has that same exact format, and obviously the flashbacks are primarily 95% Frieren and her journey with Himmel, Heiter, and Eisen, but like it just goes to show how good and strong and complex of a character Frieren is, in the sense of like, yeah, I could imagine even in Lost, okay, as much as I love the characters, there's only like one or two characters in there that I could like fathom me enjoying like a flashback of them every single episode. You know what I mean? Like I feel like a normal show would like, okay, we're gonna do a flashback here for this character, and then here for this one. We're gonna spice it up. No, just about every single episode of the show was a Frieren flashback, and sort of not only strengthening, building, or showcasing her relationship with the three people in her party, but also the sort of lessons she's learned. Because again, that's also part of her story. She's always on this. You know what I mean? She's learning about magic. She always wants to know more. She always wants to find more. She wants to go on these adventures and take in everything that she can. And I feel like she's doing that exact same thing when it comes to learning about humans and connecting with humans. And it's perfect. It's almost like she's learning about herself, and she's learning about life, and she's learning about the people around her and how she should communicate and spend time with and love and train and teach and learn from these people. It's so like she's learning these things, but the flashbacks go back to the original teaching. Like, if you understand what I mean? Like it goes back to the original moment where Frieren learns about an idea, learns about a way to live better, or learns about a way to connect with people. And then it flashes back to present time where she's utilizing those words from the three people she trusts the most. So, oh my god, so good. Like I said, I could talk about Frieren all day, but I really just do want to emphasize, and this will be the final time I say it for this discussion, but she is one of my all-time favorite characters in fiction. Okay, I'm not necessarily going to say a top 5 or top 10, or, you know what I mean? I'm not going to give her an exact spot yet, but she's really fucking high. 100% one of the top 5. I think I can safely say top 5 protagonists I've ever seen in anime. Not necessarily top 5 characters, but top 5 protagonists. She is everything I've ever wanted in a major character. And I thought, just going into specifics about the end of this episode, the sort of, saying quick goodbyes because we're going to meet each other again. I got goosebumps thinking about this, and I almost got a little teary-eyed. Like, I think that fits perfectly with the fact that, I'm getting goosebumps. I think that fits perfectly with the idea that Frieren and Himmel are going to meet again. You know what I mean? Like it's not over. They didn't have to have some lovey-dovey great goodbye because, we're going to talk again. We're going to meet again. And like I said, maybe it's my paranoia, because I don't know the exact limits of how long Frieren can live. I mean, I would assume it's a lot of years left still, like outliving Fern and Stark and all that. It's a given, but again, I could really see an ending to where we flash back to the end of Frieren's life, where she finally dies and sort of reconnects with Himmel there, so she can stay with him. Obviously, they're going to go to end and communicate. If that'll be the end of the story, I'd be absolutely fine with that. But I could definitely see a world in which we see Frieren die and be like eternally with Himmel, if that makes any sense. You know, they're able to get into the afterlife, and that's where they'd be able to perfectly live together, because obviously they just couldn't in life. The lifespan differences, it just wouldn't allow that to happen. But everything about this episode was perfect. I'll get into the major characters of the season, like Fern and Stark and Sign in a minute, but I do want to talk about the characters in this arc. Obviously, I'll repeat, like Kraft, I feel like a lot of these characters are people whom we will eventually meet back up with again. Like, they're not going to be recurring main characters for the entire journey or anything like that. That's just not the format of Frieren Beyond Journey's End. But we're obviously going to interact with them and have reunions, and obviously every single character, and it goes into the end message, the end thematic point from Himmel. Like, we gave such, bye, see you later, you know, we're going to see them all again. We're going to meet back up. But the Denkin stuff was phenomenal. Okay? His fucking inspiration. It's like if you grew up watching Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was fucking immortal, and you run into him playing a pickup game 30 years later. Like, that, yeah, the reason I did this shit. And that's just so amazing. Obviously, Denkin was one of my favorite characters, and I'm so happy that everyone passed. I will say, I don't want anyone to misunderstand me. I keep making jokes about me hating on Method. It's just, I was so surprised at how she became one of the major sort of successes of this mage exam when she wasn't really focused on it at all in the first test. And it feels like every other major character was introduced and acquainted with the audience during that time period. But I do find it funny how everyone else, like fucking, you know, Denkin was given his shit because he sort of thought to fucking beat her up. Ubel is just a fucking psychopath, you know what I mean? Fern, because of her insane potential. Even Land, who I was so happy that Land passed. Land, just because of the fucking audacity, the fucking balls on this man to not even show up to the most important moment of his life and just fucking hang out and drink tea and sip tea while fucking people are dying and shit. Everyone. And all Method did was fucking riz up. All she did was riz up Siri, and it worked. That's insane to me. That is insane. Land and dude, this is the thing about Land too, okay? This man not only didn't show up and received the highest honor you can as a mage, he also got himself a hot mommy goth girlfriend. He received everything you could ever want in life. He received a psychotic, crazy goth girlfriend. And fucking props to this man. Props to this man. Ubel is scary, man. Ooh. And again, I kept making references to people like Siri and Janelle and Sense and even Lernan now, in the sense of, like, it feels like the most powerful people at the top of the verse are kind of scary. Like, again, I'm not calling them evil. I think I jumped the gun when I said those or made those accusations when some of these characters were introduced. But, like, there's just something off. Like, they're kind of soulless and violent and real serious. Ubel fits perfectly in there. She's so scary. She is so goddamn scary. Again, I loved Kane and Loween. I really enjoyed them. Obviously, they had the most focus in the first test, where they obviously partnered up with Frieren, but they're so entertaining. And I can honestly say, other than the corrupt priest running gag, I think them fighting might be my second favorite. Either that or Fern getting angry. Again, that's something I'll mention this. As emotional and as connected and as serious this show was at points, I respect the fuck out of the fact that this show is one of the funniest animes I've ever watched. Like, and it was like naturally funny. Like, it didn't try that hard. It wasn't like, please laugh, laugh track, please, we need you to laugh. It was just so naturally funny. And these characters, I think the reason it's so funny is because of their chemistry with each other. Like, they flow so perfectly together. It's everything about this show is so fucking perfect. Again, the action, this anime was also incredible. 10 out of 10. I never would have thought I would have loved action or loved fights like this. Because again, I'll repeat it, and I know I've been saying it the last couple episodes, but like, fights don't pull me in. You know, like, I'll enjoy them. I'll go, oh, that was cool, that was this, but I'm never like, yeah, woo, that was awesome. But this shit hyped me up, and I think it's because, and this is something I mentioned in all of my reactions on the channel, the most important thing as a writer for you to do in order to make your audience care about what they're seeing is they need to connect with the characters. They need to feel connected with their relationships and their past and their goals, their ideologies. That's how you keep your audience entertained and locked in. And I think that, you know, because the show was so good at that aspect, because the show made me care about literally every single important, minor, major, recurring, anything, one-off characters. They made me care about them so fucking much. It was almost like I bought into everything. It made everything around the characters care even more, or matter even more. So, like I said, the animation was incredible. Madhouse did such a phenomenal job. This is it's funny. I say I'm gonna wait 8 months. For the second season. I am someone who I stick with the first what's it called, avenue of entertainment. That's something I'm introduced to something in. So what I mean is, like, I know that this is based off a manga, and I know I really want to continue the story. But because I started with the anime, I'm not going to switch over to the manga. I'm going to stick with the anime until the anime finishes, and then I'm going to go read the manga. But like, this is one of those shows that challenges that ideology. Like, this is, I'm gonna like be like, every day I'm gonna sit up in bed at like 3 a.m. and go, oh, I wish I knew what the fuck happens in Frieren. Everything about it. It's just, and I'll go back to it. I want to repeat. Essentially, other than, like I said, other than one season shows, this was my favorite season 1 in the history of TV. In the history of TV, above Game of Thrones, above Lost, some of my all-time favorite shows, above Severance. Okay, it was that fucking good. Like, and it's because of that emotional connection with the characters. And it made me cry so much. Oh my god, dude. Again, I need to get a shirt. I'm never someone who's, again, I hope that this YouTube stuff becomes pretty successful, because I absolutely love doing it and I love talking to you guys about shows. But I would never be someone who does merch or anything like that. But if I was like, gun to my head, I had to do merch, it would be something like, I have goosebumps right now, because I just constantly say it, and especially in this show. In all my shows I say it, but specifically in this show, I think I say it the most. It felt like every single sentence was the most impactful, most important, most poetic, most beautiful shit I've ever heard, that I got goosebumps. Whenever there was an important fight, I got goosebumps. The music, talking about, every aspect of this show being quality. The music of this show is absolutely incredible. Like, I felt like I was into it. I know I said a couple episodes ago, like, I had already, like weeks ago at this point, I'd already gone through the OST and compiled. Well, I listened to every single song, and I put like 98.2% of the songs from the OST into my instrumental music playlists, and I've just been jamming out with them. I get goosebumps. I tear up. It's not my favorite OST. It's definitely up there, but I make a connection. I think I said, well, I know in Oshinoko I made references to it, but my favorite personally OST of any anime I've ever watched is Death Note. Just because of the one thing that it does better than any show for me is, like, sometimes I'll be listening to an OST and I'll hear a song and I'll be like, this is really good, but I don't remember listening to this in the anime. With Death Note, literally like every single song on the OST, I can go, yep, this was episode 3. Oh, yep, this was in a scene in episode 8. This was in a scene in episode 14, 18, and 19. Like, you know, like I can do that. I feel like Frieren is the same level in that regard. Like I can listen to a song and then I close my eyes and I visualize, you know, the exact scene that I first heard this in. So I really do got to give props there. Moving on to some specific characters. Like I said, I already talked about Fern. I already talked about Frieren. I'm gonna move on to I'm gonna work my way up, so I'm gonna end with Fern probably. But let me talk about Himmel. Again, I mentioned a show like Lost that has, you know, flashbacks of off-island stuff. It's different than this show, just for the simple fact that, like, most of the characters in the flashbacks you don't see anymore, because obviously Lost is a show about a plane crash survivors. The people in their lives in the flashbacks weren't on the plane, so you know they're not really major characters. They might recur in a couple flashbacks, but they're not like every, you know, episode sort of staples of the story. So like I can't really say, oh, some of the people in the flashbacks, I can't really say, oh, there's some of my favorite characters in the history of TV. I can't say that. But the way that I'm sorry for comparing so much to Lost, but I've been mentioning how much I love Frieren Beyond Journey's End so much. Lost is my favorite live action show of all time. It's the highest praise that I keep making connections to it. But with Himmel, I have never seen a character who is essentially dead by the beginning of the show. He's essentially dead. We get a couple scenes with him and then he dies. And all of the sort of growth, all of the personal exploration of his character and his past and his interactions, it's done after the fact that we know that he's dead. We're going back into the past to see him when he's younger. I have never seen such a complex, well-built character in that structure. Someone who, like, is already dead. They made me care about him so much, and I obviously throughout the season I keep making jokes like I want to marry him and I want to kiss him and I want to be with him forever, and I'm jealous of Frieren. But he's, again, I almost feel like a character in the verse, like one of the bums that, like, oh, the hero. He's so inspirational. He's literally the perfect human. He's the perfect person. He's so, again, he's inspirational. This show reminds me a lot of something like a Villain Saga season 2 in the sense of, like, I feel like watching this show like changes my outlook on life. I feel like watching this show makes me better myself. It makes me strive to be a better person. It makes me want to have such deep and close connections with people. And again, I like getting a little emotional here. Like I got goosebumps streaming down the back of my head this entire conversation. But like just the idea, like at the end there, like that's something that I would probably take into my life. Like I don't want to have to say fucking, you know what I mean, such strong goodbyes to people because I'm gonna see you again. That's such a wholesome fucking message. That's, oh my god, man, that is so fucking good. Like I said, I could make this discussion 5 hours. I don't really want it to be that long, so I'm not gonna go on, you know, a whole bunch of tangents. But I do want to really emphasize Himmel already being dead. Okay, and obviously we're gonna get at least one new scene of him in the afterlife, in the future, probably near the end of the show. But he is one of my favorite characters in the history of anime, and I've only really seen his character sort of work and manifest in flashbacks. That is so hard to do. Going along with his partners, Heiter and Eisen, they're in the same fucking boat. Obviously not necessarily to the level of Himmel for me, because Himmel, he's the dreamy. But those guys too, same sort of thing. Well, with Heiter, you got a real heavy focus episode on him in episode 2, I believe, if I recall correctly. But again, a lot of his character too, it's sort of built through flashbacks. Eisen's character, even though he's still alive, he's not like currently a major part of the story, active part of the story, if that makes sense. But like I said, their development through the flashbacks is such insane levels of writing. And again, I hope you guys understand what I mean. Like, it's like some people when they watch a prequel, they have trouble buying into the characters because they already know what happens. Like, oh, why should I care about Jim Bob over here if Jim Bob, you know, dies in the first show? Why should I care about their arc if they're evil by the time. Like, the ability to understand that the audience knows where the characters end up, but we're going to change your perspective. We're going to give you new things. We're going to make you cry. We're going to make you laugh. We're going to give you every emotion in the book on the way to that end journey or that end spot that you already know about. It's very hard to do. And like I said, they do it absolutely perfectly. Going to Stark and obviously taking a step back from Stark for 1 second and connecting him to Fern. In the history of TV, again, I keep making references to the fact that this show makes me feel like a little girl, like shipping people, and you know what I mean, like watching Disney Channel or something like that. I can safely say, in the history of fiction for me, I have never been more for. I've never been more giddy. I've never been more like love struck than seeing Stark and Fern interact. I have never wanted two people to start dating and holding hands and kissing and being together more. And like, dude, you talk about style, because obviously, I would argue, and this is just gonna be my prediction. And I got goosebumps thinking about this. I bet that the last visual we see in the series is flashbacks to thousands of years in the future, and we see some statues of Frieren, Stark, Fern, and I would hope Sign. I want Sign to be there. I mean, like, I'm still really sad that I didn't get to see him at all, except for one singular beach scene at the end. How the fuck is this man at a beach? Like, how did this man get to a beach? I thought we were we're in the middle of a fucking continent. But like I said, I would argue that I think that would be the last visual, and I think it'd be such a powerful and striking visual. Obviously we get Fern and Stark in the middle, but like, because they're going to be so powerful. They're like going to be the power couple of this generation. They're going to be the two strongest figures, and Frieren and Sign are going to be like the old geezers, sort of guiding them, helping them, stay level-headed and teaching them lessons. And oh my god! Again, it would be heartbreaking. I got goosebumps too, and even just thinking, I just made that prediction about the final visual. I wouldn't be surprised if another final visual was Fern or Frieren, thousands of years after Fern and Stark die, going to clean their statues for them, putting flowers around their statue. That would be heartbreaking, because again, going back to the first thing that I connected with in this show, the first like almost heartbreaking, the first thing that really emotionally impacted me, was just the idea of the fact that this entity, Frieren, elves in general, live so long that it's hard for them to make lasting connections with people, I would argue, because the fear of losing them and the fear with living without them, it's terrible, you know what I mean? Like, making it in connection to a human life, like a human will meet someone they really like for one day and then go about their life, and you don't really think about it that much, well, I only knew him for a day, so it's not really that important. Frieren can have that same sort of, idea for someone she's been with for 10 years. Like, it might be really hard for her to actually visualize how important someone was in her life. So again, if we do get that visual of Frieren, cleaning, or obviously having outlived another set of some of the most important people in her life, it would be heartbreaking. It would make me cry. Obviously, this show can make me cry, I don't know, fucking... showing fucking Laughing with some donuts, or fucking, I don't know, seeing Warble carry Sharf in air, stupid shit like that. The show can make me cry, so it wouldn't really be that hard to do that. But anyway, taking a step back from the relationship part, Stark I felt like was so goddamn amazing. He's so, again, he almost fills that Himmel role for this current party. In the sense of, like, he's so good, and he's so good-natured, and he's so caring. He's like a magnet. He's a sociable magnet. Like, people love and flock to him and care about him so much. And again, I really like, I feel like, he's done the same thing with Fern. I love it. Like, it's another thing too, a lot of animes, some of their main characters are typically children, and we sort of watch them grow and mature. And sometimes they can be a little overdone, like a little too over-exaggerated, if that makes sense. But Fern and Stark are so well written. Like, their little cheesy, like, middle schooler relationship, romance, fucking sign trying to push them together, getting angry that they're not dating already. It's so perfect and it's so wholesome. And like I said, it makes me just like, it's making my heart beat. Like, please, please kiss, please kiss, please hold hands, please hold hands. Please admit your love for one another. But, you know, like I said, Stark, phenomenal character. Again, I mentioned 20 times in this reaction. The characters in the show are so strong. So strong. Some of the greatest side characters, one-off characters, you know, non-important recurring characters, whatever you want to describe it as. Some of the all-time greats. But if those are good, if the side characters are good, you can just imagine how good our main characters are. You can just imagine how good the original Heroes Party and the new Heroes Party are. In terms of just making me care for and appreciate their arcs. Again, I don't want to mention literally every single character we met. So I'm going to mention 3 more. The more minor one, I'm going to mention Kraft. Actually, real quick, I do want to mention I really love Siri. Like I said, I feel like I'm like, she is like an immature like simp who doesn't, you know what I mean, can't say her emotions out loud because of pride and her ego. I feel like, so seeing her like not only just be called out like a hypocrite too, by Frieren, but also Fern sticking it to her with the clothes spell, was fucking perfect. And like I said, I really liked Siri. Again, I'm not gonna call her evil, but don't misunderstand what I mean when I say antagonistic. But I think she played a really good sort of semi-antagonistic role this last arc. That really sort of, I don't want to say justified, but really backed up Frieren's character. Like, she's not, she didn't change. She's her. She's unabashedly her, and that's why we love her. And it also, you know, does the same thing with Fern. Fern is just her. She's she's her. But I love it, and seeing how she's been raised and affected, you know, in every aspect, not just like fighting style, but just personality-wise by Frieren, it's so perfect. But yeah, and like I said, all the characters in this arc, the Warble scene, that Warble conversation was fucking phenomenal this episode. Again, that shit almost made me tear up. It definitely gave me goosebumps. Like I said, I loved the characters in this little arc. And, you know, I mentioned, like, how good, like, they were good at, like, introducing one character each episode. It was amazing. At the beginning of this arc, they introduced, like, 10 or 12 important characters who are going to come back at some point. And it like, made me excited to re-see all of them. Like, I'm looking forward to meeting up again. Because of just how fucking perfect and spectacular they not only just were independently, like, personally, but also just at how they, you know, connected with and played off of Frieren and co. So... but anyway, getting into the 3 characters that I wanted to mention to wrap up this conversation, because I don't even know if anyone's still watching at this point. But I could talk about this for 2 hours. But I'm very interested to see some more Kraft. Character-wise, like I liked Kraft. I really did. Like, don't mistake that with what I'm about to say. Out of all of the characters, he might have been like he's like middle tier for me. So when I say I'm really hyped to see him, I'm really hyped to see him because of his history and his impact on the world, and, you know what I mean, his past interactions he's might have had with people. So I'm really interested to learn more about him. So he's definitely on my radar of characters to look out for. Sign is my next one that I do want to discuss. I loved him so much. I really, again, he feels like the 4th member of the party. Like, and it really felt like they gave him that importance and gave him that role. So it is a little surprising to me that he did just immediately split up with the group. I know he has, you know, differing goals. And again, we 100,000% obviously backed up by the "it'll be embarrassing when we meet up again" idea. We're 100% going to meet back up with him. But I do, like, I want him to be glued to us. I want him to be here. The way that he played off with Frieren, obviously, but also specifically just him being like sort of a mentor, or like an older brother figure to Fern and Stark, was so fucking entertaining. And I really hope that early into season 2 is when we get him back. Or something that I would absolutely love, and something that, you know, quite honestly, I would want even more than just us meeting back up with him immediately. I kind of want us to have like a little arc of just focus on him at Chur, was it? I think he went to the city Chur. Like I said, he is one of our main characters. He should be treated with respect. Frieren, Fern, Stark, and Sign. Those should be our 4 main characters. And he, like I said, he's important enough to warrant a little mini focused arc on him. Just, you know, checking up with him and his journey to find the Gorilla Warrior. Sounds like fucking Kung Fu Panda shit. But yeah, I loved him. I really do want to see more of him. And again, something I did say one more time, but I just want to say it to wrap up the science stuff. Like, I was really disappointed that he wasn't, you know, in the last like 10 episodes of the season. But I can't really, in my right mind, complain. Like, it would be insane for me to complain because the arc that I was given was perfect. It was arguably the peak of the show. So, as long as I don't have to wait like years, like 2 or 3 years for Sign to come back, I'll be absolutely fine. But the final character I do want to talk about is Fern, obviously, who, you know, is obviously our secondary protagonist. Not only just a secondary protagonist, but like, and I think it's not only been foreshadowed, but I feel like, you know, the last couple episodes have explicitly stated it. Frieren has specifically stated it. I feel like Sirius explicitly stated it. I could almost argue that Fern will eventually be our main character, if she's not already. If she's not already our main character, she will definitely be that, as she gets not only just stronger but more confident, comfortable with herself, and, you know, obviously grows a closer connection with Stark. I feel like Frieren will take that step back as we get to, because again, at the end of this journey, I feel like we would have to defeat someone. Like, there has to be some boss, if that makes sense. And I could definitely see a world in which, you know, the overcoming, the final defeat, the final punch to the boss is through Fern. So, you know, I'm very much looking forward to that, and I think that builds Frieren's character so much. If she's able to take a step back and be like, this is my girl, this is my student, I love her so much. But yeah, she's so funny, and she's made me cry so much, and I just want to hug her and pinch her cheeks, and I want her to be with Stark, and I want everything. I don't want to sound cringy, and like, she's only like 5 years younger than me, maybe even less, but like, she feels like my kid. Like, I feel like a proud father anytime she's on screen. I just love seeing her be happy and succeed, and I fucking love her. The characters, I don't want to. I know I'm so repetitive, and that's when I get really passionate about something, I do like to sort of repeat. But like, the characters in this show are the best. The best season 1 of any multiple season show I've ever watched. The best characters through the first season of a show I've ever watched. It's incredible. It's so incredible. I'm just so happy. Again, this was a spur of the moment watch. I just randomly went, you know what, fuck it, let me watch Frieren for the channel, and it's paid off. It's so much paid off. This is a journey. Again, you know, making puns or whatever, cringy jokes or whatever. This show feels like the ultimate emotional, spiritual journey. I mentioned a lot, like, my favorite genre of show is mystery, and because of the journey it takes me on. I love not knowing things, and they sort of sprinkle little answers and more questions. And I feel like, experience-wise, watching a mystery is my favorite experience. It's my favorite journey. It's the thing that I get most motivated with and hyped with and all that. The thing that I get most in-depth for next is an emotional, spiritual journey, like a found family sort of thing, like a One Piece, like a Frieren, like a Vinland Saga. It's just like, I feel safe. I feel comfortable. I feel loved. I feel happy. I feel sad in a good way. Like the emotions are perfect. Like, it's just, I feel entertained. I feel hyped. I'm yelling. I'm screaming. I'm crying. I got goosebumps. This is one of the greatest experiences I've ever had watching a first season of television, and I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. I said this a couple episodes ago, and obviously I'm filming these in advance, so I haven't even gotten the answer from you guys. But let me know, like, is the author of this, do they have any other stories that they've written? If there's like anime showrunners, or are they showrunners of any other animes? I'd really be interested to know. Because this work is some of the best work I've ever seen, and if there are other pieces of work or anyone who's ever worked on this show, like they do the same contributions to other shows, I would really be interested in seeing them. I feel like I've talked about all the characters I want to talk about. I'm very interested in seeing the future of this show, seeing everything. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna cry when I go off screen because I'm almost devastated that the show is done. Season 1's done, but I don't know. I'm gonna be so. Again, I mentioned this the last couple episodes too. Like, it sucks that I have to now wait a decently long time, like 8 months, 7-8 months, 9 months. Yeah, that is how that works. I have to wait 9 months for the next episode, but like, while the wait may suck during it, like it's build up. Like, so like the final, like the release, the emotional release, the happiness release, like when I finally get to sit down and watch the season 2 premiere, will probably make it like one of my most anticipated pieces of fiction I've ever experienced. So I'm really hyped for that. But I think that's going to be it for this episode. If you guys do, I'll really appreciate it if you guys talk to me about the show in the comments. You know, you just gave me some of your opinions, some of your favorite moments, maybe some of your theories. I don't know if you think anything I said was stupid about the show, tell me it's stupid. If you agree with anything I said, agree with it, let me know in the comments. Let me know some of your favorite characters. My top 5 characters: Frieren, Fern, Stark, Himmel, Sign. I think I have Sign right above Hyder. That no order. No order. I'm not going to do an order. But those are just my favorite 5 characters. But that'll be the thing that I leave you guys on. Again, I'm so happy that I started watching the show. I'm really happy you guys watched it with me. I will see you guys in about 9 months for the season. Well, not 9 months for me watching this. I'm watching this in March right now, and this is going to come out last week of May. So, what? I'll see you guys in like 6 months or something like that for the next episode. I hope you guys stick around with me. I'll repeat what I said in the beginning of the episode, what I've been saying the last couple episodes. Look forward to next week. I'm starting 3 brand new animes for the channel. Well, 2.5. Avatar is a cartoon, but I've heard it described as like a really Western anime. But I'm watching Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Avatar: The Last Airbender. So if you guys are fans of those shows, I would really appreciate if you stuck around. Please subscribe if you liked my reactions to Frieren. If you are hyped to see my reactions to some other shows on the channel, I would really do appreciate if you subscribe. It really does help me out, especially sort of right now where I'm at. It's something that I would really appreciate it. And again, I said please comment. I really want to talk to you guys about the show. And then also, if you liked this specific reaction, I'd really appreciate it if you liked it. Other than that, I think that's it. I'm going to go cry in a corner and moan and whine and bitch and complain and sit in a dark room for the next week to sort of mourn this show going away. But you know what? I'm not going to do that. You know why? You know what? You guys can cringe in the comments. But you know why I'm not going to do that? Because I'm just going to wave. I'm going to say goodbye. Because I'm going to meet you again, baby. I'll see you in January, Frieren. I'm so excited. I will see you guys. I'm waving bye to you. I will see you guys in January. Don't go anywhere. I'm so excited to meet back up with you. And you guys have a great day. You have a great couple weeks, great couple months. In the meantime, if you find any new animes that you would really recommend, come back and drop them in the comments. Let me know. And that's going to be it for this episode. I love you guys. You guys have a good one.